So I know we're all thinking about who Kamala Harris is going to choose for vice president. And it's a legitimate question. It's a serious question. It's a question we really need to grapple with because it's coming up. The convention's racing toward us. It is going to get much louder and much crazier in the next couple of weeks. And here's the great thing about, for once, the Democrats have an amazing farm team. For once, the Democrats have options here that aren't painful or constrained by the intra-party politics of the Democratic system. The progressives aren't laying down on the railroad tracks. The pro-business types aren't laying down on the railroad tracks. Everybody just wants her to make the best choice, which is a real gift. I mean, it's a phenomenal gift. And I think this really speaks to the evolution of the two parties, because for a long time, Republicans could always predict what the Democrats were going to do. They could always say, oh, they're going to pick the most liberal, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not wrong. And it used to be the case. But right now, Vice President Harris has every option in the world. And there are a lot of people in the hunt. And frankly, I look at all of them with a pretty open eye. I can see strengths and weaknesses, but I see a lot more strengths than weaknesses. And I'll tell you why. I look at a guy like Mark Kelly, and I think, wow, credentialed astronaut, military guy, a personal narrative that won't quit, high numbers in a swing state. You look at a guy like Josh Shapiro, one of the very best governors in the country. And I'm not talking by like a little, I'm talking like a lot. You look at Gretchen Whitmer, who says she's out of the race, but you know what? If they called, you answer when they call. Another one of the best governors in the country, a stellar economic record, an absolutely fantastic economic record in Michigan. You look at Andy Beshear, the guy has charisma for days. You look at Walz, helps in Michigan, helps in Wisconsin, helps Minnesota, all that upper tier stuff. And Walz comes across as a bro, as a dude, as an old guy who's like sharp and funny and friendly and smart and has been a good governor. We have a lot of options, folks. And I've left people off the table here. Okay. I've left a lot of people off the table. Those are the ones we're hearing about, talking about. And all those people would be phenomenal choices, which is, of course, would be great in an ordinary year. It's even better this year because let me tell you, and I've talked about this a little bit already, but the buyer's remorse about JD Vance is insane. Trump is like a caged animal. He's like a fox caught in a trap trying to gnaw off a leg right now to escape. That's how much he hates JD Vance. He's embarrassed. Trump is humiliated. He got played. He got played because Elon Musk dangled $45 million a month in front of him if he picked JD Vance. He got played because Peter Thiel said, oh, he's my guy, Donald. I could be very helpful if you pick my guy. He got played because Chris LaCivita and Susie Wiles were like, whatever they want, Mr. Trump, he's a wonderful choice. We don't need to worry. We've got this race locked up for you. It's all done. Yeah. How's that working out for you guys? The buyer's remorse is so pungent. It's so strong. The rot coming off of JD Vance. Look, he's performing like an Olympic gymnast in the 1970s, where he's out flipping back and forth, doing every contortion he can possibly do because he knows if he doesn't get a gold medal, his parents go to the work camp. I mean, this guy, he's so desperate. He's out swinging for every pitch right now. And it's just sad. It's just sad to watch. But whoever the Democratic vice presidential candidate is going to have one moment with JD Vance on stage. And there's never been an easier target in a vice presidential debate. Never. This guy has craziness stacked 20 miles deep. This guy has quotes about families, the cat lady stuff. He didn't say that stuff about like childless people once or twice. There are now about a dozen times he said it, and he said it on podcasts. He said it in writing. He said it on video. This is a frame that whoever the dude is, and folks, it's going to be a guy. Most 90% is going to be a guy. Let's just leave that on the table for now. But when the moment comes and JD Vance walks on stage with any of these Democratic vice presidential candidates, he is going to be scared shitless because Trump is really, really, really on edge. He's so nervous. He's so mad at JD. He's so mad at everybody who helped him push JD, including, by the way, Don Jr. and Eric the Slow. Those two morons were also like jumping up and like, pick me, pick JD. JD's a good guy. They all talked Trump into this. And Donald, if you're listening, and I know you have a staff person who listens because you just do. We know you. Donald, if you're listening, it's not too late. You could make a change. You could change him to anybody. You could pick someone crazier. What about Tucker? You should pick Tucker, Donald. Pick Tucker. Pick Tucker. Please, I beg you, pick Tucker. But all kidding aside, folks, you've got the single weakest vice presidential candidate in American history. And beating Trump and Vance really now takes on an added significance because JD Vance was the gussied up, painted, made over version of an awful lot of this alt-right garbage that has redefined what the Republican Party once was. The natalist, white demographic panic is wrapped up in, Nazi Care Bear over there. The guy is a person with whom the Peter Thiels and the David Saxes and the Elon Musks and the various Silicon Valley oligarch types, they all know Trump's a moron. They get it. They know he's an idiot. They think Trump is a slack-jawed yokel, and they're right. But what they're missing in this, and what everybody's missing in this, was that JD Vance, who they thought was the glittering future of this right-wing nativist movement, the guy's a fuck-up. The guy's an idiot. He's a dumb, smart person. What is a dumb, smart person? It's one of those things that I as I've grown older, I've discovered being smart is great. I'm pretty smart. I'm a pretty smart guy. Okay. Being smart is fantastic. But being able to interact with people, being able to have normal interactions and relationships with other human beings is a superpower. Being able to talk to people appropriately is a superpower. Being your authentic, genuine self is a superpower. You know why I think that Vance really screwed this up? Because he got famous by performing a stunt about his background. And it was always built on this like concatenating series of lies and this elaborate skein of bullshit about who he was. And so it wasn't just that he could be raised in a lower middle class family. It had to be down in the holler where they were shooting up meth every day or whatever the fuck it was, right? But see, he got famous by being this iconoclastic figure, this I'm now an elite. I've gone to an Ivy. I've credentialed myself. Now I'm better than those people. It's dishonest. It's not who he really is. The guy wants to crawl out of his own skin every minute of the day. Okay. He hates himself. You can see it. He hates himself. And when you hate yourself, people hate you. When you hate yourself, you make it easy for other people to hate you. And Donald Trump hates him now. Donald Trump is making phone calls. And I told you this, guys, about a day after he got the nomination, Trump was like, maybe he's not that great on TV. Maybe we could swap him out. The context of the phone calls right now isn't who he's going to fire. It's calling like, what do you think about how JD's doing? I don't think he's doing very well. And he's building up this this mosaic in his mind of reasons to fire JD Vance. Now, I think it would be hilariously disastrous if he fired him at this point. It would be It would be ludicrously comic if he fired him at this point. It would set the Trump campaign back even more than it's already set itself back over and over again. And it would cause, I think, a big rift inside that Silicon Valley matrix of people that support Donald Trump. Those folks are very smug right now, very satisfied they got their way. And a lot of them are probably thinking, well, even if Trump goes down, our guy JD was the vice presidential nominee. That makes him first next time. Au contraire, gentlemen. Let me acquaint you with a little bit of presidential history. Big primaries happen to vice presidents. Watch what happens. 1988 QED. There is no system anymore of it's X's turn. JD Vance won't be JD's turn next time around, because he's not building up, and he will not be allowed to build up a separate infrastructure around himself in this campaign. He will be the couch fucker. He will be the dolphin porn guy. He will be the guy who clownishly was memed to death in this campaign. And it's fantastic. So, Donald, I know you feel regret. I know you feel chagrin. I know you feel shame that JD Vance is not as good on TV as he should be, because he's not. You should have known that. It's also a shame that the Vance campaign in Ohio, the opposition research book that they provided the Trump team this year about JD's vulnerabilities, was sadly incomplete. They're learning new stuff about JD every day. It is not good. It is bad. They're going to push this guy out there until they don't. They're going to keep him going until they kill him. And I think his odds of survival are pretty low, because, as you may have heard at one point, an eccentric genius said, everything Trump touches dies. JD, you're up.